For over 2 decades, one story about human history got repeated everywhere. 74,000 years ago, a volcano erupted so violently it nearly wiped our entire species off the planet, reducing us to just a few thousand survivors, clinging on by a thread. It's one of the most dramatic near-extinction stories in all of human history. It's also, according to a growing and increasingly loud body of research, probably not what actually happened. Let's start with what's not in dispute. About 74,000 years ago, the Toba supervolcano in what's now Sumatra, Indonesia, erupted, one of the largest volcanic events of the last 25 million years. That part is settled fact. This wasn't a normal eruption. It ejected an almost unimaginable volume of material into the atmosphere, genuinely one of the largest such events in the planet's recent geological history. In 1998, researcher Stanley Ambrose proposed something dramatic, that this eruption triggered a volcanic winter lasting up to a decade, and that it very nearly ended the human species. According to this theory, global temperatures plunged, plants died off on a massive scale, food sources collapsed, and the human population, once numbering in the tens of thousands, crashed down to somewhere between 1,000 and 10,000 people worldwide. It seemed to explain something real. Compared to a lot of other species, humans have surprisingly low genetic diversity. A dramatic population crash, a genetic bottleneck, fit that observation neatly. The story was dramatic, it was tidy, and it had a real scientific hook. It spread everywhere. Documentaries, textbooks, articles, for more than 20 years. Here's the problem. As archaeologists kept digging, in Africa, India, China, and even on Sumatra itself, right where the eruption happened, they kept finding something that didn't fit the catastrophe story at all. Continuous evidence of human activity and tool-making running straight through the eruption, with no visible gap. People weren't just surviving. In several of these sites, life seems to have gone on in a fairly ordinary way. Climate scientists also went back and re-examined the original cooling estimates and found they may have overstated the eruption's global temperature impact by a wide margin, in some models by 1 to 2 orders of magnitude. A widely discussed 2025 analysis put it about as bluntly as science ever does. The so-called Toba bottleneck simply didn't happen. That same research traces human population decline back to around 150,000 years ago, long before Toba erupted at all. To be fair, this isn't a case of one side simply winning and the debate closing. Some researchers, including Ambrose himself in later work, have argued the eruption may genuinely have been larger than critics estimate. A separate 2021 study proposed a different mechanism entirely, that the eruption may have severely damaged the ozone layer, causing real harm to human populations through a completely different pathway than the original volcanic winter story. So, the honest answer right now is that the dramatic humanity nearly went extinct version has lost a lot of ground. But exactly how much this eruption affected ancient humans is still a real, ongoing scientific conversation. So, did humans survive Toba by the skin of their teeth, one of the closest calls in our entire species' history? Maybe not. The growing evidence suggests something almost more impressive. This might not have been a near-extinction event at all. Just one very bad, very ashy stretch of years that a resilient, already widespread species mostly just got through. Sometimes the most dramatic version of a survival story turns out to be less remarkable than the boring truth. We didn't barely make it. We just kept going. That's your OHpedia for today. If this made you go, "Huh, I never knew that," share it with someone whose brain you like.